What are your rankings of Christopher Nolan's films? I just made this list like 5 minutes ago, so it's not like official, but it shows like how I feel. Remember, this is not my list. This is the list. Everybody says the opposite. I'm gonna say this is a definitive list. Some of you are gonna take that personally, probably. No, hopefully not. Now, Christopher Nolan is my personal favorite director, so all his movies I think are amazing. Like, yeah. So there's not one movie that I hate here. So at last place is Following. It's his first film, so naturally it's gonna be at the bottom, but it's still amazing. It it's it's my last. Still, I needed to watch that movie, and then I watched every single Christopher Nolan movie, so it kind of like hurt knowing he made like The Dark Knight, Inception, like all these big budget movies, and in this one it's just made on $6,000, so it wasn't like so yeah, it kind of hurt it, but nonetheless, it's still a very fantastic story. Every now and then, I'm like, I want to watch something else, but it still caught me very entertained. Like not entertained, but focused. It kept my attention. Next is Interstellar. The first time I saw it, I believe no Nolan film is supposed to be watched on DVD or any lower quality. I watched it on DVD. So yeah, the big set pieces kind of like and lower in quality, but it's fine. I watched it still. I'm not complaining. Um, but the what really brings it down is like for a lot of people as well is the ending. I had no idea what bookcase what. I don't know books. So yeah, that's why it kind of fell flat for me. But the first half and second half, those were great. If it was just like a continuation of that, it would have been amazing. But because of the last act, it kind of fell flat. Number nine is Insomnia. This one, right? I own it. Yeah. This movie is fantastic. I was surprised why a lot of people have it at the end of the list. I've never seen it, so I couldn't really say. But now I understand ish, but I don't understand still because it is truly fantastic. But compared to the other known films, it is like it's it's great. Don't get us wrong, but it's just the other ones are better than it. That's what. Yeah. So, I'd rather watch the other ones besides Insomnia, but I would not mind whatsoever to watch Insomnia. Prestige. That ending though. Oh yeah, two Nolan films I've seen on DVD. um. So yeah, the Prestige. That ending is like what I kind of was piecing together the pieces. Like, I think this guy has been like cloning himself. So I figured that out. I knew he was cloning himself, but I did not know he was a clone. So yeah, yeah. The Prestige is great. It's just lower because it is not. Well, I'm not saying it's bad because it's not like a big action, but it's still a very mind provoking film. But it is a good film. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I'm not. It's not Nolan at his best. Here we go again. Another DVD. Memento. It's a very good movie. Okay, don't get me wrong. I feel bad like how low each of these movies are, but they're still great. Like I cannot stress how great they all are. But Memento is a very thought provoking movie, more thought provoking than The Prestige. Um, One thing I don't have a problem with, but I kind of have a problem with. I have the same like problem with, but not problem with Pulp Fiction. It kind of spoils the movie. Like this literally shows the ending at the very beginning. Like, oh, okay, then I know this guy dies. This literally skips the second half, goes straight to the third half, and then goes back to the second, and then you already know that John Travolta is gonna die. So, okay. But then again, you know why he did it. So like, It's just like that. I don't have a problem, but it's just kind of have a problem with it. Like you show the ending, but I don't know. That's why kind of gets it down, but it's still very good. Okay, actually showing the ending in the beginning and then learning, it's for a purpose, but I'm very conflicted on the reason why I don't like it, but I still love it. Dunkirk. I needed to rewatch this one and Batman Begins, and then I could make the list definitively. So I rewatched this one. I just finished Batman Begins, and Dunkirk is amazing. It's a great war movie. It is not a war movie, but it's a war movie. There's no like scene that two guys go like, okay, you're gonna go here, and then you're gonna go here, and then boom. The Hacksaw Ridge in 1917, I believe, both have that kind of scene. This one doesn't. It's just focused on the men on the beach, and then the men on the sea, and the men in the air. So I just realized this has no female characters, does it? It doesn't it? Maybe the occasional like woman on the boats like coming to save them, but there's no definitive woman character. Wow, I did. So Dunkirk is amazing. The sound is like, yeah, it's great. So, but the lack, it's just not the lack. I don't mind not having a like character wise. Like I don't mind that. So, but it's just I like the other ones better than Dunkirk. This trilogy is my one of my favorites, if not my favorite. But Batman Begins, I like Batman Begins the least. It's still amazing, but it's just the least amazing out of the other two, in my opinion. But rewatching it, I still believe it's like it's like it set the bar for the other ones, and then the other ones surpassed that bar. That's how the good to put it. But if it weren't for this, I wouldn't have gotten the other two. So yeah, I'm grateful for this one. I just rewatched it and I found out how funny kind of it is. It's kind of really funny sometimes. I'm surprised how funny it is sometimes. I can't stress enough how I found it weird how funny it was. Um, it's like Tenant. It has like I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago and then boom. But yeah, something like that. But yeah, Batman Begins is awesome. It's that final like battle. Christopher Nolan loves to do it stuff practically. It's CGI. I can see a lot of this movie being CGI, like especially when like the wide shots of like the city. I feel like the CGI kind of takes me out of the movie, knowing Nolan loves doing practical. But besides that, it is a great film. The Dark Knight Rises, the best conclusion to a trilogy. Well, a great conclusion to a trilogy. I mean, I like this movie a lot more than most people because it shows how the Dark Knight like goes at his lowest and then rises up. I like every fight scene between Bane and Batman. I can redo it the whole thing. Don't ask me why. Um, but yeah, the ending is great. I could just praise this movie all day. It has one of my loves, Anne Hathaway, so more. But yeah, I don't have more reason why to. I like it a lot. It's the Dark Knight Rises. It's the conclusion to one of my favorite trilogies. Tenant. The most controversial Nolan film, not because it has like anything bad in it, per se, but it's just like how confusing it was. Um, but I kind of understood it. I watched it like definitively once. But I haven't seen it like I haven't rewatched it. But I don't need to rewatch it. It's embedded in my head. I rewatched a lot of scenes from it, like the car chase backwards, and then the hour at my house an hour ago. Um, but yeah, it's a fantastic movie. It makes you think. Audiences want more of Transformers. Well, kinda like they just want to see. No, actually, they want more Avengers. That's the best roast. They wanted more Avengers. Just saying, oh, okay, Avengers assemble. I'm not making fun of them. I actually like that as well. And then boom, 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 boom. They just want to see that. They don't want to see a thought-provoking movie. But yeah, it's still very good. the wait a minute, what? Okay, this is very hard for me. This is my favorite movie of all time, but it's my second favorite Christopher Nolan film, The Dark Knight. Does that make sense? Mm, I love The Dark Knight. It's my favorite movie of all time. I cannot praise it enough. It's just I it's just the Inception and like does everything great in this, but ups the level. But I can praise this all day. Everything everybody else has said about how good this movie is, I agree with completely. The suspense between Joker and Batman when he was um, like you have to choose between two people. Great. I can't. My favorite Nolan movie of all time is Inception. This is one. This is a fantastic movie. My favorite ending of all time. Makes me tear up now. The hallway. It goes like, wow. I wish I could do that, but no, I can't. I don't have like $5 billion to make my room spin. But it's a fantastic movie. My I have like a memory of this, like saying, "Oh, Dad, can I watch it? Can we watch this movie?" And he was like, "No, it's too confusing." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I just continue left wondering why this is like going up while this is like going that. So I'm like, okay. We watched it on Netflix. I wish we could have watched it on the Blu-ray, but we watched it on Netflix. It's still the movie, so I can't complain. But I love physical media, so I kind of like the Betrayed, the Blu-ray while watching on Netflix, knowing we had it, but I don't care. I watched it, and that ending made me hate Christopher Nolan for a day, because I hated that ending until I became Big Brain, and then I love that ending. That's my favorite film of all time. My favorite ending of all time. All my Tarantino films and my Christopher Nolan films are my like prized possessions. Like yeah, those are like my most like I'm most proud of those collections. But I still have some movies to collect of Nolan, like Following, Interstellar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have two movies to collect from him, so yeah. Um, I would like to upgrade my DVDs to Blu-ray, but I still have them. I'm not complaining. So that is my ranking of Christopher Nolan movies. What are your rankings? And yeah, is your favorite director Nolan as well?